Angus tries to fight back in this count. It's 2-1 now. And yeah, the game is managed differently with this time implemented. You're starting to see things like this happen where you wouldn't necessarily see it in a normal 9-inning game with no time restrictions attached. The 2-1 is flown to right field. There's going to be a play at the plate. Sliding in is Martinez, and he's in there safely. And the Unicorns take a 2-1 lead on that great hustle there by Bryn Martinez. A nice throw out there by Tommy Feasel, but we saw Bryn Martinez manufacture that run by himself.
Yeah, that was your make Macomb your home play at the plate. Bryn Martinez with some wheels. You saw him motor his way around to third base with that big shot to left center field, and we don't see a lot of triples here at the USPBL. You got 315 down left, 320 down right. Not a lot of area for you to be able to get to third base. You got to have speed and put it in the gap. That's exactly what Martinez did with the one out, and Luciana doing his job to drive in the run with the big fly ball. But a nice throw from Feasel to make it a close play.
Conley popped one up down the left side, and it did in fact stay in play. However, neither the third baseman Dundon or the catcher Jackson Smith were able to come up with it. Conley has his second life now as he is down 0-1 with 2 outs here. And Bryn Martinez really, he busted out of the box and was able to get that into a triple, a ball that usually is a double, but it was in left center field, which is one thing that puts you at a disadvantage for a triple. As Conley ready for the 0-1, Angus pours it in, but just outside. But you don't see that a lot here at all at Jimmy John's Field. And just the fact that it was in left center field even makes that even more impressive to make that into a triple.
Nobody's got to be happier than Cody Brown. He gave up that home run that led off the second inning. Mammoths took the early 1-0 lead, but in the third and the fourth, his team able to get a run in each frame, give him the lead, so now he will be working with it. As, you know, Brown, a guy who does not mess around out there on the bump. He'll work with the lead now, and we'll see how far he can go in this ballgame.
The 2-1, that one misses upstairs, 3-1. Unicorns now with a 2-1 lead. They have 2 hits, as do the Mammoths. Neither team with an error, but the important stat, Unicorns holding that 2-1 lead. Here's the 3-1. That one bounces in. Conley heads down to first. A 2-out walk keeps things going here for the Unicorns.
Second walk of the night for Conley. Arguably has one of the best eyes at the plate in this entire league. For the first time, not in that leadoff role with these Unicorns, batting in the 8th spot, doing a good job, reaching base safely in both plate appearances. Led off with the walk in the third that turned into that 1 run, and continuing this inning here in the 4th. We'll see if it leads to anything.
Most definitely could, as Adrian Guzman steps to the plate. Takes ball 1 outside. Guzman, with that great defense, was elected an all-star. Something to be proud of for Adrian. The 1-0 is swung on and missed. Breaking ball fooled Adrian Guzman.
And so we talked about how happy Cody Brown is with his team fighting back in these last 2 frames, getting him this lead. But on the other end for Angus, he had 47 pitches through the first 3 frames, and now here in this 4th, he's already at 66. So we got to imagine that if this isn't the last inning, the 5th might be for Angus.
Another pop-up that nearly got out of play was right on the edge of the protective screen and was unable to be caught down there, down the first base side, just behind home plate.
Yeah, our YouTube camera, of course, not able to get everything here at the park, but Barbie, behind the dish, busted his butt out of that catcher's circle and got to the position where that ball was landing, just, you know, could not complete the finish as he was just out of the reach of that baseball, and Guzman stays alive for at least 1 more pitch.
Guzman in the 1-2 hole. Here it comes. That one just missed outside, and Guzman will live to see another pitch. Conley down at first. 1 run in already on that Martinez triple and sac fly. He was able to come in on that. The 2-2. Swing and a miss. Good changeup there by Jake Angus. Adrian Guzman is out, and so are the Unicorns. They do take a 2-1 lead. We'll be back with more. You're watching the USPBL YouTube channel. Welcome back. It is the bottom of the 4th inning here in Utica. Jake Barbie will lead things off for the Woolly Mammoths. That one fouled off. Out of play. So we'll look through some stats in between innings. We talked about Jake Angus. Started off 20 pitches through the first 2 innings. And then after that, 3rd inning, 27 pitches. In the 4th inning, 22 pitches. So he has run into a bit of trouble in his last 2 innings. And it'll be interesting to see which side he takes. Is he going to go towards the first 2 innings, Jake Angus, or the last 2 innings? And that'll probably determine how long he stays into this game. That one on the ground to short. And it's bobbled momentarily. And not in time. Jake Barbie able to beat it out. And the initial call is a hit.
I'm sorry, that's not a hit.
Yeah, I was just going to say that it appeared to be an error, a clear error.
And they do, in fact, just put the error mark up on the scoreboard.
That may have just been a scoreboard thing.
A little malfunction there on the scoreboard, but an error, of course, in fact called. And, of course, to my pick-the-stick candidate, Jake Barbie. So, you know, the luck not there for me, but Barbie reaching base safely could come in to score a run here for the Mammoths, maybe tie this game up.
Yeah, Bryn Martinez did have some trouble at shortstop. That slider misses away. So, excuse me, the Mammoths do get an early break in this inning after falling behind 2-1, getting an error to start off an inning, and not a. They'll take whatever you can get when you're down 1 against Cody Brown.
And this is the difference between good pitchers and great pitchers. In the face of adversity, Brown clearly the forefront pitcher in this league. You allow the leadoff man to ground out. It turns into an error. Can you continue to fight? And it's exactly what he's doing here against Pagano after getting him down in the count here 1-2.
Another filthy breaking ball had Pagano questioning whether he should swing, and he did, in fact, take a cut at it. It wasn't a full-hearted cut, but a cut indeed, and he's behind 1-2. The pitch from Brown, that one misses pretty far outside. 2-2 now.
So Brown trying to strike out Pagano for the second time tonight. Brown with 30 pitches coming into this fourth inning, 3 strikeouts, no walks.
That one on the ground to third. Ward there. Throw onto first. Double play. And a beautiful double play it was. Dan Ward quickly flipped it across the diamond. And a nice turn to record the double play. That was Adrian Guzman at second base, who completed the second half of that double play. And the game continues to move along as JJ has other ideas. He's in left field as he now retrieves the bat and will head back to his home behind the plate.
JJ, a fan favorite here at the USPBL, but that's exactly what I was talking about, Drew. You have a situation where you're given the leadoff man on via the air. Brown fighting back, gets another ground ball, and gets the double play, exactly what he was looking for.
Brandon Cuddy, who had a home run in his last at-bat, swings right through that. Had a big cut at it, trying to take Cody Brown deep twice. That's a big accomplishment if Brandon can do so. 0-1 is in there, and Cody Brown quickly ahead, 0-2.
So we talked about in the pregame how Brown likes to go to that slider with 2 strikes to righties. As far as lefties are concerned, he likes to bring that change up. See what he does here. Could even go back to the high heat.
The 0-2, swing and a miss. Cuddy did not look comfortable. It appeared to be a drop third strike, however, out is called immediately. It was caught on the fly, and we'll head to the top of the 5th inning. We'll be back with more. You're watching the USPBL. Welcome back. Jake Angus will go for his 5th inning of work. He has completed 4, and through those 4 innings, he has thrown 69 pitches. He has gotten himself into a bit of trouble in the last 2 frames, but I think Jake will be able to bounce back here.
Battled very well in the first 2 frames. Did not allow a hit in those first 2 frames, but faced off against 6 batters in the 3rd and then 5 more in the 4th. See if he can slow it down.
Drives that one deep left field. You can forget about that one. It is way gone. That cleared the fence by about 40 feet. And Dan Ward can take his time around the bases. He was waiting on that fastball from Jake Angus, and wow, did he crush that baseball.
So Ward waited on the pitch from Angus. We've been waiting for about a week and a half to see who can take the charge in the home run race. Dan Ward tied with a couple other players in the USPBL with 4 home runs coming into play today. And in fact, it was Lawson, Pagano, Ward, and Paller with 4 home runs coming into the weekend. And Ward breaking the seal with that 5th home run of the year, putting the Unicorns up by 2 here to start the 5th.
And it wasn't a cheap one, Rich. It was 40 feet over that fence in left center field. We saw it in the home run derby, and we see it here again. Just country strong, as Rod Allen would say. Latona at the plate. He pops that one down the first base side. A little bit of trouble, but it is hauled in by Jake Barbie for the first out of the inning, as we saw Dan Ward's power, and I think Jake Angus saw Dan Ward, and I think he got a little flustered as he does bounce back and get the 2-hole hitter.
Yeah, and you mentioned the country strong excerpt there from Rod Allen. Unfortunately, no second deck to see out in left center field, but
this is
that
might
have been possible to reach that second deck. But instead, Ward with his 5th home run, good enough to lead the league. Mentioned how he had 47 home runs in the home run derby. But, my goodness, that was about as far as he was hitting them out in the Derby on last Saturday, just almost a week ago here at Jimmy John's Field. But Ward taking charge here. Unicorns with 3 runs in their last 3 frames.
Carter Grote at the plate, hitting in the 3-hole today. And one thing that's interesting about this lineup is you'd think Dan Ward would be batting 3rd and Carter Grote would be leading things off. However, it is the opposite of that, and clearly there is something right with this lineup, and I think they figured something out with putting Dan Ward at that leadoff spot.
Yeah, you know, he doesn't have the stature of a leadoff player. Neither does a guy like Chris Conley like we've seen for these Corns, but Ward doing a good job. He's reached base safely in all 3 at-bats. The hit by pitch in the first, reached on the fielder's choice and came in to score the first run of the game for the Unicorns. And with that solo shot, a little bit of insurance here for the men in purple.
And they'll definitely take it right now. Big spot here. Trying to keep this a 2-run lead if you're Jake Angus. As the pitch is tapped. It's going to be a tough play. Lawson charging. He's going to go with the glove. And he's able to get Carter Grote by a half a step. That's a great play by Jalen Lawson. And
you have to know who your batter is up at the plate. Grote with some of the best speed in this league. We talk about how aggressive he is coming out of that box, busting his tail down that first base line. Lawson with looks to be a haircut over there at the second base bag ends up making the play on the run. Not an easy feat to retire Grote, but after the leadoff home run, good job here from Angus to limit the damage with the pop out to first and the grounder to second.
Now Dan Williams will step in. Lefty on lefty matchup.
Speaking of that man, Jalen Lawson, Dan Williams 0 for 2 on the day. He's grounded out twice to Jalen Lawson. So would be shocked to see him not stay busy over there at the second base bag.
And I can confirm he did get a haircut. It is on his Instagram, so that's how you know it's real. Swing and a miss there from Dan Williams. Evens the count up at 1-1. Williams yet to show his power, but we know he has it. The 1-1. That one misses outside. Excuse me, that's in for a strike. It looked to be
not so fast, my
friend.
Looked
to be 6-8 inches off the plate. However, it is called a strike, and I guess Gary Wagenschuss just wants the boys to swing the bat.
The frame job of the season there from Barbie.
The 1-2, that's tapped right back to the mound. Easy play. Williams not getting down the line too fast. There was some trouble there. The sun was a problem in the eyes of Jake Barbie, but he was able to haul it in. We played 4.5 here in Utica. We'll be back with more. You're watching the USPBL YouTube channel. Welcome back. It's the bottom of the 5th inning. Andrew Dundon will lead things off as Cody Brown back to work. I did make a mistake at the end of the last half inning. I just want to correct myself. Brandon Cuddy was the one who had trouble with the sun at first base. As Dundon loops one into center field, and it's going to get down, a base hit. As the 1-800-Hanson's player of the game gets a base knock. And some sort of
$1 Dole Whip gift card. Oh. Not gift card, but you get $1 off of Dole Whip if you head down to the guest services area. I know you can hear it in the bathroom. You can hear it up in the suites. If you're tuning in, head down to our guest services area in the main concourse to collect your gift cards for the $1 off Dole Whip, and it is tasty.
So Dundon is aboard with that leadoff single. Now Jordan Thomas will step in. That one driven in the air, right center field. It's going to be trouble. Thomas has extra bases. It's going to one hop over the wall, and it's going to be a ground rule double. So now the Mammoths are striking and really threatening to score here, as there's that little base hit from Dundon. Now a ground rule double off the bat of Jordan Thomas. And now if you're Cody Brown, you got to bear down and get some outs.
Yeah, that's a tough spot to be in here if you're Brown, a guy who does not fail a lot. Left that one over the plate, and Thomas, a guy who has not had success at the plate this year. Maybe that was part of the reason Brown threw it in the zone as much as he did. And Thomas taking full advantage of it, one hops it over the fence. And fortunately for those Unicorns, it did turn into a ground rule double. Dundon would have easily scored on that play, but instead he has to stay at third.
And now the newcomer, Alec Allred, who has really gotten off to a hot start in his limited time here in the USPBL. He'll get a chance to tie this ball game up with a base hit.
Yeah, Allred with 5 hits in his first 12 at-bats. Good enough for a .416 batting average. He's been hot in his time with these Mammoths.
The 0-1 misses outside. And Brown gesturing to Jimmy Latona, my bad, my bad. But he'll get the ball back as the count is even 1-1. Allred steps out of the box. We haven't seen that a lot, but Allred needed to collect himself for this 1-1 pitch. Swing and a miss. Great breaking ball again. Absolutely filthy.
That slider out of the right hand of Cody Brown. Best pitch in this league, bar none.
Yeah, no argument there. I don't think anyone would argue that. The 1-2 now. That one fought off, and it was the same pitch. Didn't have as much bite to it. And that's probably why Alec Allred was able to foul it off.
Yeah, you know, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. But with that pitch, Brown left it a little more over the zone. Allred looked as if he was going to lay off of it, but saw the bite, like you mentioned there at the last second. Stuck that bat out there and stays alive.
The 1-2. This one is filthy, and Allred is tagged out. No, he's not, says Gary Wagenschutz, but the throw down to first will complete the strikeout as the runners stay put. Still at second and third now with 1 out. And this at-bat is crucial now. You had that no-out situation with the runners on second and third. And now Tommy Fiesel has a chance to drive in a run or two. But if he can't get it done, then you're in jeopardy of really blowing an opportunity.
You get the first 2 men on with the base knocks from Dundon and Thomas. Alec Allred swinging and missing at drop third strike. And speaking of, Tommy Fiesel standing in here now. That was the exact situation that he ended his first at-bat with in that top or home half of the third inning when he dropped one for a third strike and got struck out. But, yeah, big at-bat here for Fiesel, who on the season has 19 hits and 83 at-bats, just a .228 average. No home runs and 5 RBIs, but what a time for Fiesel to step up to the challenge.
Cody Brown throwing his 5th straight breaking ball. That one in for a strike, 1-2 on Fiesel. And I don't think Cody Brown's going to really change what he's doing. He may sprinkle fastballs here and there, but the pitch working as well as it is, you may as well go to it frequently.
And he did go with the front door slider that time.
This one, not the front door. This one started off over the plate and broke, but it was that same slider.
It's that setup pitch right there.
Yeah, and now I think you're going to get his real one. That was the setup, as you mentioned, and I think he might get something either a fastball or a filthier version of that same pitch. Let's see what happens. It's the same pitch, and it was filthy. Brown looks over to third. The runners stay put. Feasel is retired. And now all of a sudden, Cody Brown looking like he could get out of this incredible jam.
All on his own. Striking out Alec Allred after allowing the single and double from Thomas and Dundon. Then he gets that ground ball right back to him. Feasel, the guy with speed out of the box. You saw Brown initially gets the ball first, which is the thing you need to do to start the play. Looks over to the man at third base, Dundon, with that long look. Does not allow him to move towards home plate. And Brown throwing the ball over there to Dan Williams to record out number 2. Just 1 out away here from getting out of this very, very tough jam with runners in scoring position, 2 of them with nobody out. Can he get 3 straight outs to get out of this jam? Cody Brown, one of the few that can do something like that.
He'll have to go through Jalen Lawson. Lawson, a big swing and miss there. But Lawson hasn't been an easy out lately. He's had a few nice games over the last couple of weeks, day games especially, as I'm proud of that. Here's the 0-1. Checked his swing. He did go.
Yeah, you know,
it's quickly 0-2.
It just goes to show you how good of a pitch that is from Brown. So much lateral movement on that pitch, and even the best of the hitters cannot hold up on it. And Brown, why not go right back to it?
1 pitch away from getting out of this. Checked his swing. Did he go? There's no signal yet. Now Wagenschutz signaled. It is, in fact, a strikeout, and Cody Brown got out of the no out. Runners on second and third jam. That's, in my opinion, harder than the no-out bases loaded jam. Unbelievable job by Cody Brown, and we'll head to the 6th inning. We'll be back with more. You're watching the USPBL YouTube channel. Welcome back. It's the top of the 6th inning here at Jimmy John's Field. New pitcher on, but first we're going to talk about Jake Angus. He pitched 5 innings, allowed 3 hits, 3 runs, all of those earned, 3 walks, 2 strikeouts in the 22 batters that he faced. Now for more on the man on the mound and to hand it over for play-by-play, Rich Borland, what do you got for us?
Thank you, Drew. So Clifton Landis III out there for his 5th relief appearance on the season. Big cut there from Austin Ledoux to begin this 6th inning. Landis III coming to us right here from Michigan, same hometown as former Utica Unicorn Nico Lolio out of Carleton, Michigan. School, Madonna University, but so far with these Mammoths, 6 innings pitched, an 0-0 record, does have a save under his belt, but back to the action on the field. Austin Ledoux with a line shot out into left center. goes off the wall at the track. The left fielder, Alec Allred, with a good throw into the diamond, but too much speed there from Ledoux. A really nice piece of hitting down in the count 0-1. First hit of the night for the right fielder. And Ledoux, starting off this 6th inning with a bang, gives the Unicorns the leadoff base runner in scoring position.
And Rich, I'm pretty sure that gives me the lead and pick the stick, the former Grand Valley Laker. So shout out for repping GVSU, my current school. So
and Ledoux, in his time at Grand Valley in the 2017 and 18 years, had 101 at-bats, 376 batting average with 128 hits in those 101 games, but 83 runs, 30 doubles, 5 triples, 11 home runs, and 69 RBIs at Grand Valley. Transitioning into professional baseball here with these Utica Unicorns, Austin Ledoux finding a home when he's not out and right, in behind the dish, switching back and forth with Jimmy Latona. Bryn Martinez, meanwhile, stands in now, had that big triple in the 4th inning and then came around to score on the sac fly from Joey Luciana. This ball looks like it'll fall into center field. Coming around to score is Ledoux. Will there be a play at the plate? Too high of a throw. Out to second is the batter, Bryn Martinez, and he gets in there safely. An RBI single for Martinez. He gets the second on the throw. Back-to-back base knocks for the Unicorns. Give them a 4-1 lead.
Great jump by Ledoux. Right off the bat, he had no hesitation. A lot of guys would have waited because that was hit high in the air, but Ledoux didn't wait at all. He sprinted home immediately, and kind of the same thing for Bryn Martinez. He didn't hesitate at all either. He knew the throw was going to come in to home plate hot. There was no cutoff there. Martinez wisely took second base. That's good base running by both of the Unicorns in this situation.
So 2 hits, no outs. Back-to-back singles from Ledoux and Martinez have given the Unicorns their 4th run of the game. And now Joey Luciana standing in, had the RBI sacrifice flyout that drove in Martinez. See if he can do it for a 2nd consecutive time.
First career RBI that was for Joey.
Luciana, in his first start with these Unicorns, had his first plate appearance last night. This one looks like it's going to stay fair. Trouble for the right fielder, Fiesel, rounding third, and it looks like he'll be heading for home is Martinez. Not slowing down over there is Luciana, over to third, and sliding in safely. A triple there, driving in Martinez. The Unicorns can't be slowed down. It's 5-1.
And the second triple of the ball game for the Unicorns. Another great example of the base running right there. Not the fastest guy is Joey Luciana, but he busted it out of the box. That was hitting the corner. Great effort out there by Tommy Fiesel, but unable to come up with it. And just another triple. We've never seen 2 triples in a ball game at this ballpark anyway. And for the Unicorns to do it today, that's impressive.
Yeah, coming into today's game, there have been, count them, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 triples hit in this league. 2 more here tonight. But Shane McCaddy going out to have a conversation with Clifton Landis III, and that is a tough start in this relief appearance. Angus, like we mentioned, went the 5 innings, allowed the 3 earned runs, but already 2 earned runs on 3 hits for Clifton Landis. Nobody getting loose just yet in that left field bullpen, but in due time they will be coming if Chris Conley and Adrian Guzman can do something as the infield moving in now with the 4-run deficit. That one missing high to Chris Conley. Mentioned time and time again how good of an eye he has up at the plate. Already 2 walks in the contest. Infield in. This wouldn't be a bad idea to maybe put Conley on for Guzman. Try and get a double play or a force, not a force, but a play at the plate as Conley looks at another one. He has seen 3 strikes in his 2+ at-bats here tonight, but man, can he look at it with the best of them.
And he's laying off tough pitches to lay off. They're right outside the zone. Some are just high as that one is driven to right field.
Out there is Fiesel. Not a great route to that ball, but getting the ball in, not in time. A nice at-bat for Conley. Doesn't reach base safely, but does, in fact, drive in the run. That is run number 6 of the game here for the Corns. And even though he didn't get on base, an effective out. And coming in to score is Luciana.
And all of a sudden, the Unicorns have broken this one open a little bit. It felt like it was going to be 2-1, 1-1 for most of the game, but all of a sudden the Unicorns starting to flex their muscles a little bit and show us why they have this powerful offense.
Dan Ward with the home run in the 5th, and then 3 straight hits from Ledoux, Martinez, and Luciana, leading to that sacrifice fly out from Chris Conley. That's the first out of this top of the 6th. Adrian Guzman, meanwhile, having to fight off a fastball in on the hands from Landis. Quickly down in the count, 0-2 is Guzman, but
in jeopardy of his 3rd strikeout.
Yeah, Angus had the 2 strikeouts through those first 5 frames. Those 2 strikeouts going to Guzman, so trying to avoid his 3rd consecutive strikeout. Last thing you want to do is toss on that dreaded sombrero. And it looks like Guzman will, in fact, get out of that 3rd strikeout, but he will be retired. A bang-bang play at first. The 3-1 putout is recorded. Cuddy to the pitcher,
Hey, boys,
Mr.
that's the
Landis.
2nd out of the inning. They're headed back to the dugout like that was the 3rd out. Come on, man.
That is, you know, sometimes the game can get away from you. They thought that they had the 3rd and final out with Guzman getting retired via that 3-1 putout, but not done just yet, and far from done with Dan Ward coming up to the plate this inning. Not over yet.
Yeah, I think they saw Dan Ward going to the on-deck circle, and they're like, oh, no, we're not facing this guy. Let's go back to the dugout. And maybe it's 8:30, so maybe just another reason why they're trying to speed things up because they want to get a complete game in. They're thinking
they want to get back into the offense and try and catch back up in this game, but you got to get the outs first.
They're trying to catch everyone sleeping. I think McCaddy put him up to that.
So Ward following off the first pitch he sees here in this at-bat against Landis. The 0-1 pitch missing low and in at 90 miles an hour. Evens this count up at 1-1, but what a spark here from the 5, 6, and 7 hitters with 3 base knocks, all 3 of them scoring against Landis. Slider at 81 miles an hour, missing low, brings the count to 2-1 on Dan Ward, who has not been retired yet. He reached on the hit by pitch in the 1st, the fielder's choice in the 3rd, and then that solo shot to start the 5th inning. Big cut there from Ward. He was trying to do more damage on that 2-1 pitch, but good job there from Landis to at least limit the damage for now.
Yeah, and if you're Landis, I would strongly advise against throwing a pitch in the zone at this time anyway.
Good job to not throw one in there, and even better to throw it just outside of the zone. Missing on that outer 3rd was Landis the 3rd, but Ward works the count full.
If he gets a fastball, I don't think he's going to miss it.
And he does not. A line drive out to right field. Fiesel with a tough route to it. He gets crossed up. Ward thinking about 2, but out there in right, picking up his mistake. Fiesel throws the ball in quickly to keep that big, long hit there from Ward. Just a single and a 2-out knock. He cannot be put out.
I always had that problem when I played. I always hit it off the wall too hard to where I couldn't get to second base.
Was that your problem?
Oh, yeah. No, but that is incredible power. That goes to show how strong he really is. And that was opposite field. And that got to the wall in about 3 seconds. And when it did hit the wall, it was just came right back into the field of play and rocketed back into the field of play. And Ward was only able to get a single off of it.
He is a menace out there at the plate. Coming into today's action with, count it, a .316 batting average, which is good enough for 3rd in this league behind Whisker and McAdams. But I'm telling you what, no one hotter than that man, Dan Ward. And you wondered if the home run derby, like in the MLB, how some players don't participate in the derby because it messes up their swing. But the 47 home runs for Dan Ward on that last Saturday All-Star festivities. Not only that, but he had 3 hits in the game. Yep. Just an absolute animal out there in between the lines.
He immediately disproved all of those theories with 3 hits in the same night. You'd think it'd screw up a swing at least for the night, but not the case for Dan Ward.
Meanwhile, Jimmy Latona looking at the 3rd pitch of the AB. This one called strike by Wagon Shoots. On the day, Latona 0 for 2 with a line out, a pop out, but was hit for the league-leading 9th time. Ball magnet is Mr. Latona. Down in the count here, 1-2. Landis trying to get out of this long jam. Good stop from Barbie is that one in the dirt. Barbie completely covered in that red clay.
And I think part of the reason Latona is such a ball magnet is because he has a pretty open stance, and when the pitch is on its way, he leans all of his body weight towards home plate, and so a lot of guys could get out of the way of a ball where he can't.
This ball rolled over to the third base bag. Dundon over to Cuddy. The 5-3 putout is recorded, but the Unicorns with the 3 spot in the top of the 6th. We head to the home half. You're watching the USPBL YouTube channel. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Rich Borland, Drew Kell with you on the broadcast. We're through 5.5 innings of play, and if you're just joining us, you've missed quite a bit. The Unicorns trailed this game after 2 innings when Brandon Cuddy hit a leadoff home run that gave the Mammoths their first lead of the game, but it's been all Unicorns ever since. Cody Brown back out to work. He'll face off against Whisker, Barbie, and Pagano. A 1-1 count to start here against the center fielder today. But a leadoff single from Ledoux, followed by a single from Martinez, a triple from Luciana, and that one drilling Whisker on the 1-1 pitch. Not sure if that was payback or not for Latona. You don't really think of that type of trying to get back. All of these players trying to get to the next level, and we're one big team here at the USPBL. But you see Brown right there giving a nod to Whisker, apologizing for that. So perfect example leading the way there was Brown, but a leadoff batter on for the Mammoths in a desperate bottom of the 6th inning.
Yeah, and to further your point, that was an 80-mile-per-hour breaking ball. There was no intent there whatsoever, but yeah, you're right. It's an opportunity for the Mammoths with one of their most athletic, quick guys on the team on the base paths as well, and Ethan Whisker. And a big hole between the second baseman and first baseman Dan Williams.
That one getting away from Latona, and Whisker getting into second base with ease. So a man in scoring position now for these Mammoths as Jake Barbie, my pick-the-stick contestant, reached on the air in the 4th, popped out to first base in the 1st. But a big opportunity to drive in the second run of the game and keep this contest alive between myself with you, Drew, with Austin Ledoux going 1 for 3 with a single and a run scored through his first 3 at-bats. Barbie looking at ball 2, a good hitter's count coming up for the catcher. So the Corns with the 6-1 lead. Jake Barbie looking at the 91-mile-an-hour two-seam fastball that paints the outside black. Barbie coming to us from Liberty University. There is some action down in that left field bullpen. Looks to be number 24, Joel Sharon. As this one's popped up, looks like it'll get out of play. Dan Ward at the hot corner thought about it, but this one getting too far out of play. Lucky fan getting a souvenir on that one. As Barbie, 12 of 57 coming into play tonight. Only 4 hits for these Mammoths. One of them for Lawson, one of them for Cuddy, one for Dundon, and one for Thomas. Big spot here for Brown, trying to get another strikeout. This one missing just inside. Barbie stays alive and works the count full, but for Brown, he's got 6 strikeouts through the first 5 frames, and even better than the 6 strikeouts, Drew, he is not allowed to walk.
That's the impressive stat.
That's even more impressive. We'll see what happens here against Barbie. This one, a slider missing inside.
The announcer's curse.
Right on cue. Barbie, I mean, you know he's my pick the stick. I had to set it up. As Barbie reaches base safely, so a hit by pitch to Whisker, and then the no-out walk brings runners to first and second for the Mammoths. And Tyler Pagano, dangerous hitter, standing in.
Yeah, it's an interesting spot in the game. Time actually becoming a factor. It's 8:40.
It's of the essence.
Yeah, we haven't had to do that in past broadcasts, but yeah, it's 8:40. You got to keep that in mind.
This one lined out into right center. It will get down. Out there is Austin Ledoux. He throws the ball into the first baseman, Dan Williams, but getting in to score with ease, standing up, is Whisker. Second run of the game for these Mammoths comes in to score. Great job there from Pagano to swing at the first pitch, take it the opposite way, and come out with the RBI single. First hit of the day for the designated hitter, and it comes up in a big situation. Not only do the Mammoths have to score runs, but they have to do it in a timely fashion.
Yeah, and Brandon Cuddy, the guy right now, I've noticed one thing. Left-handed hitters are having a bit of an easier time because seeing that breaking ball is a lot easier from the left side as opposed to the right side. And also Brandon Cuddy has gone yard in this ball game. So this is the guy you want up right now to get you some quick runs. And, as you said, in timely fashion. It's important.
You would take another home run, of course, from Cuddy, but if you can keep this threat going and maybe get an extra base hit, drive in 1 or 2 runs, and stay out there on the base pass, still no outs here for Brown in this 6th inning. A desperate situation for the right-hander as this one rolled over and out of play. The changeup in there at 81 miles an hour.
The double play would kill things right now, by the way. You saw that changeup, and I think that's exactly what Cody Brown has in mind. So keep your eyes out for that, because that could be a real rally killer.
And this is a situation where you might stray away from that slider. Most guys on this Mammoth team are expecting to see that more than any other pitch. So you maybe want to go with some other type pitches, and right on cue with a fastball, but it's beat by Cuddy. He rolls one out into right field. Ledoux going to third base with the throw. Picking it up is Ward. Coming in to score is Barbie. Pagano moving up 180 feet over there to third base, and Brown finally starting to show some human-like characteristics.
Yeah, and really, the first time we've seen any life from the Mammoths, besides that Cuddy home run earlier in the ball game, it's been pretty much silent. And now, for whatever reason, probably a little bit of a mix of these guys on the Mammoths getting accustomed to seeing Cody Brown's stuff, as could be a pitching change. Looks like it's just a mound visit, actually.
A combination of trying to calm your ace down
and get your guys
some
going.
Strategy in there with the infielders, with the first and third base runners on and nobody out. I would imagine that the Unicorns will either have infield in or at least the corners in, and it looks as if both Bryn Martinez and Adrian Guzman will be playing back for that double play ball. They will allow Pagano to come in to score if one of them gets it, but they'll take the 2 outs for the run. Corners are playing in. Ward actually playing even, over there at the third baseline. This one a slow roller. It won't be an easy job to get to. Dundon over there to first, gets there in time. So not only does he reach base safely, but he brings in the run. The out is recorded at second. Cuddy is recorded for out number 1, but Dundon driving in the RBI run with the fielder's choice as the first out is recorded here in this home half of the 6th, but the Mammoths getting their third run of the inning, fourth run of the game. It's all of a sudden a lot closer of a ball game compared to what we had coming into this home half of the sixth.
Yeah, and that's unfortunate, too, because the middle infielders were playing double play depth, which is what you're supposed to do in that situation, but it just didn't work out. If the infielders were all in, that would have prevented a run, and they only get one out of the situation. So very unfortunate situation for the Unicorns, as now it's only a 2-run spread right now, and it's gotten interesting quickly.
We will not be starting another inning after the 9:30 mark, as this game had begun right on the button, 7:05 p.m. start. So keep tabs on that clock as we continue on throughout this ball game. Jordan Thomas, the batter, starts this at bat down 0-2. The slider from Brown missing away brings the count to 1-2 on Thomas, who had that double back in the 5th inning.
And that slider has lost a bit of depth. It was filthy the last few innings, but it hasn't been there as much as it usually is, but it's good to him here. Another strikeout for Cody Brown, and a big one, too.
Yeah, Brown with his 7th strikeout of the night. Thomas goes down, and that's for the second time this evening, as over there on first base is Dundon. Cuddy was retired via that 6-4 putout for out number 1, but still a long ways to go here for Brown in this 6th inning. 2 outs on the board. Now with Thomas chasing after that 4th pitch of the at-bat. Alec Allred standing in. He's 0 for 2 on the night with a grounder to second and a swing and miss strikeout. Brown trying to limit the damage, but he's got to be thankful for the 3 runs that his offense was able to produce in the top half of this inning, because if not, Mammoths would be out in front right now.
Yeah, and it just goes to show you how baseball, I guess there's still a time limit, but baseball is a great game, and just because a team puts up 3 in the top half of the inning doesn't mean you can't do it in the bottom half. So it just goes to show you keep battling.
This ball hit out to right field. Looks like it's going to be enough to get out of play. In fact, it goes into that bullpen where a couple of Utica Unicorns are getting loose. But Brown most likely will be finishing this 6th inning. Take a look at his pitch count. He was at 57 through the first 5 frames. And now, as we take a look, he is already at 77 pitches. So 20 pitches in this 6th frame. He's got Alec Allred down in the count 0-2. I would imagine the slider. Here it comes. There it goes. A slow grounder up the middle. Guzman with the easy play for him. Not so easy, though, by the eyesight look up here in the booth. Guzman records out number 3, but the Mammoths put up 3 runs on, count 'em, 2 hits. We head to the 7th. It's a 2-run ball game. You're watching the USPBL YouTube channel. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Rich Borland, Drew Kell with you. Back out on the mound for his second inning of work. Clifton Landis the third. He did not have a great sixth inning. He allowed 3 runs on 4 hits, a triple and 3 singles, but back out there to work. The leadoff batter, Carter Grote, with an opportunity to get on base. He hit a hard ground ball back up the middle. Jordan Thomas coming that close to making a top 10 play, but that one, the throw going errant past the first baseman, Brandon Cuddy. I believe that Grote would have been thrown out if that throw was on the line.
And that was a great effort by Thomas. It was not an easy play just to get in front of that ball, let alone make a strong throw across the diamond, but unfortunately wasn't able to complete the play.
So I do not see an error get put up on that scoreboard, but I believe that in fact was. We'll wait to hear the official ruling here on this one. And you know what? I take it back. According to our Game Live Point Streak app, which you can track these games on, by the way, pointstreak.com, keyword search USPBL. You can stay hooked up with the live stats as you tune in here to us on the YouTube channel, but they do, in fact, mark that a single for Grote.
And frankly, I'd agree. It was a tough play to make,
yep.
And it's tough to charge an error on a play that was that difficult. But, yeah, it could go either way. I see where you're coming from as well.
Thomas, the shortstop, coming that close to making a really good defensive play. Williams, meanwhile, up at the plate. He's over 3 in tonight's contest as Landis trying to strike him out. Breaking ball in there at 80 miles an hour, misses inside. Williams stays alive as he was protecting there with an 0-2 count. Clifton Landis the third, coming to us from Madonna University. The 1-2 pitch hit on a line out there to left field. Not an easy play for Alec Allred, but he makes the catch at the track. And that one, a really good job there from the left fielder. Not only that, but Grote was thinking about that ball landing as he did not advance to second on that play. You wonder, with a guy like Grote's speed, he would try and tag up on that play with Allred making the catch on the run. But instead, Austin Ledoux coming up to the plate, started off that 6th inning with a single that led to 3 runs for these Unicorns.
I believe it was a double there, Rich. I got to defend my pick the stick. You're talking about Ledoux, correct?
Correct.
He did have a double. I can confirm that was a double.
Okay, all right. Keeping me on my toes here.
I'm just trying to defend my guy. I need this win badly.
Understandable. So as we take a look, Ledoux looking at ball 1, evens this count up at 1-1. So Ledoux with that leadoff double, as I correct my scorebook. Ledoux 1 for 3 on the night with that double and run scored. Grounded out to second base in the 4th and popped out to shortstop in the 2nd. The count 1-1 on the batter as this one misses the zone in favor of Ledoux. Now it's 2-1. Unicorns out in front 6-4. 1 run in the 3rd, 1 run in the 4th, 1 in the 5th, and then 3 more in the 6th. But the Mammoths with 1 in the 2nd and then 3 more their own in the home half of the 6th. Good eye there that one, Ledoux actually going around the count, evens up at 2-2. Grote over there at the first base bag has plenty of speed on the season. Grote does have a couple of, Grote with no stolen bases on the year. You would expect a guy with that type of speed and stature would have a stolen base, but in fact does not. Ledoux, meanwhile, working the count 3-2. Landis, the payoff pitch, right down Broadway at 85 miles an hour. Ledoux staying alive, fouling it off, and into the protective netting it goes.
That's a pitch Ledoux needs to connect on and hit into the right center or left center field gap. That was a very hittable pitch. And, yeah, talking about Carter Grote with no stolen bases, just because the guy's fast doesn't necessarily mean he's a great base runner, and I think Carter Grote needs to work on that. but he definitely does have the speed. There's no denying that. We've seen him fly around the base paths.
I mean, even though Grote stands in at just 5'9", he's got a lot of speed, but he acts as if he's a guy like Dan Ward in terms of stature. He always bats in the 3-hole spot, coming in tonight with the second most hits in the league, the most doubles, most games played, and second in the league with 15 runs scored. Just a lot of numbers there for Grote as he has been doing the job all season long. This ball popped up, looking like it's carrying a little bit. Out at the track is Alec Allred. Drew getting a little excited up here in the booth, thinking that one might have left, but instead, at the track, making the catch is Allred for out number 2. Staying put at first is Grote.
Yeah, you said pop-up, and my initial thought was home run, and then I looked and I was like, oh, that's going to die about 25 feet in front of the wall, and it kept almost to the wall. The ball is flying out of the yard. We still see the flags in left field whipping around, and you wonder if that baseball may have had some help by the wind.
This ball out there into left center field. Underneath it is Whisker, not playing his normal position of right as he transitions to center field this evening. Unicorns do not get any runs. They get the leadoff single from Grote, but can't get him in. We had to stretch time here at Jimmy John's Field, so if you're at home, get up out of your seat, take a stretch with us. We head to the home half of the 7th. You're watching the USPBL YouTube channel. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Rich Borland here on the broadcast with Drew Kell, of course. We are through 6.5 innings of play. Cody Brown's night is done. He does, in fact, go the 6 innings. He allows 4 earned runs, 3 of them coming in that 6th inning. He allows 6 hits, 1 walk to 7 strikeouts, and he now gives way to the right-hander coming to us from New York, Mr. Gio Abreu.
Yeah, Abreu has pitched 25 1/3 innings. He has a win-loss record of 1-1. He's allowed 21 hits, 11 walks, and 32 strikeouts, which clearly shows he does have some explosive stuff. Also, that ERA just under 6 at 5.68, and a whip just over 1. So the whip is around where he wants it. However, the ERA maybe not following suit. But he does have an explosive fastball, skinny guy, but the fastball comes out 93, 94.
Yeah, he just threw a 2-1 fastball to Fiesel that he swung right through at 92 miles an hour. Fiesel looks at ball 3, the breaking ball that misses the zone low. Fiesel on the night over 2. He struck out with the drop third strike back in the 3rd, grounded back out to Cody Brown in the home half of the 5th, and stays alive here, fouling off the payoff pitch from Abreu. But Abreu a scary story in the middle of the season. He did not pitch from June the 10th until June the 29th, a 19-day hiatus, and it was after a scary car accident where he was actually concussed. But we're happy to see Gio back out here with the Corns on the mound, healthy, and not only that, but bringing some heat.
Yeah, he looks very sharp tonight, and yeah, that is a scary situation. You don't wish that upon anyone. It's really, that can ruin a career, but good to see him back out here.
This ball hit out there to right field. If it stays fair, it'll be trouble, but Fiesel instead just missing down in that corner with the speed that Fiesel has. We saw him back out in that area playing defensively, trying to make a diving catch. That time, he almost had a triple of his own, but instead he'll have to keep on fighting here against the hurler for the Unicorns, Mr. Abreu.
Yeah, Fiesel, that player mentioning, he was within feet of making a almost guaranteed SportsCenter top 10 play. However, it ended up being a triple into the corner. Fiesel nearly serving one right back to where his play out in the field was made.
So one thing I do want to mention as Abreu gets Fiesel to strike out for the second time tonight, this time via the look for out number one, but our Vice President of Marketing and Public Relations, Mr. Scott McDonald, just came into our press box after that
previous half inning.
Thank you, Drew, as I was taking a look here. But Cody Brown, up until that leadoff home run from Brandon Cuddy in that second inning here tonight, had 17 1/3 scoreless innings straight, including the All-Star game.
I guess
there's nothing to say
for itself.
Yeah, exactly. Meanwhile, Abreu facing off. Back to the top of the order we go here for the Westside Woolly Mammoths. Lawson looking at two straight. We hit the 9:01 mark on your dial. Remember the 2.5-hour mark here at Jimmy John's Field, the USPBL 2.5, implementing the new rule coming into the weekend where we will not start another inning after the 2-hour and 25-minute mark. So if the Mammoths can somehow string together this home half of the seventh inning, get 3 runs in a 30-minute span, if we cannot get through the seventh inning after the 9:30 mark and the Mammoths have a lead, they will in fact win the game. So a wild thing that we will pay attention to for the rest of the season. Meanwhile, Gio Abreu throwing a fastball in on the hands of Lawson, and that one, a soft ground ball, is that one completely jammed the second baseman. Doing his job over at first base is Williams, and over there on the mound, Abreu turning into the fielder, fielding with those PFPs, covering the bag for the 3-1 putout. 2 up and 2 down here for the Mammoths to start the home half of the seventh.
Talking about this time issue, it's just really, it's crazy, and it's history in this league actually.
Major league, or in all of professional
first
baseball.
Professional league in baseball history to have a time limit implemented. As that was a wacky play there.
Whisker swinging and missing at a slider from Abreu, and not sure what was going through the mind of Whisker right there. That one was nowhere near the zone, and I was a pitcher in college, never really hit all that well in high school, but even on a pitch like that, I think I might have laid off of that one.
Yeah, I really don't know what happened there. The only thing I can think of is he was waiting for a fastball like that on the outside part of the plate and was dialed in and ready to swing no matter what, and when he didn't get it, he did look pretty silly.
Fortunate for Whisker, he leads the league with a .329 batting average to back it up, so
yeah, he'll be all right.
He will be just fine. The 1-2 to Whisker. This one hit out into right field. Austin Ledoux trying to make a play on it, and he will not be able to. This one getting down. In there will be Whisker with that double. It did not make contact with Ledoux's glove, but a mental miscue. He did not get a good read off of the bat there from Whisker, and he keeps this seventh inning alive with that 2-out double.
Yeah, Whisker, I talked about it earlier in the game. I believe it was Jordan Thomas who had struggled mightily, and guys who are struggling seem to just not get the bounces that they need, and it's pretty much the opposite here. Ethan Whisker hit a lazy fly ball to shallow right field, and it just found a hole, and he's rewarded with a double. So when it's going bad, it doesn't seem to get any better, and when it's going good, it goes great, and we just saw a great example of it there.
So now my pick, the stick contestant, Jake Barbie, standing in. Opportunity to drive in a run. Barbie with no home runs on the year, but if he can put one out, it will, of course, tie the ball game. Cody Brown still in line for the victory as Abreu pounds the zone for strike one.
As a player, are you thinking, I got to hit a home run here, I need to hit a double here? Like, it just changes the way you think as a player, and it shouldn't, but that's human nature. You're trying to win a game here.
The 0-1 pitch, a fastball high, swung on and missed from Barbie. And, in this game, you try to not make things happen, but you try and let things happen. But as you get later on in these innings with the time limit, of course, with that 2.5-hour rule, you sometimes have to try and think to make things happen.
We'll see what Barbie has in mind here.
Abreu with a couple of looks to second. Hard ground ball hit over to the right side. Guzman over to Williams for the third and final out. The 2-out double from Whisker goes unscathed. Then the Mammoths remain down 2 as we head to the 8th inning here at Jimmy John's Field. You're watching the USPBL YouTube channel. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Rich Borland, Drew Kell with you. We are through 7 innings here at Jimmy John's Field in Game 2 of the USPBL 2.5. Remember that no inning will start after the 9:30 mark, so if you're the Mammoths, you want to get out of this top of the 8th quickly, get an opportunity to score some runs in the home half of the 8th, and possibly get into the 9th if you're still trailing. But the day is done for Clifton Landis III. He goes 2 innings, not a great line, 3 earned runs on 5 hits, no walks, no strikeouts against the 11 batters that he faced, and now he gives way to the left-hander, Mr. Mike McGee.
Yeah, Mike McGee has pitched 9 1/3 innings. He has a win-loss record of 1-0. He has 1 save on the season, as that one is popped down the first base line.
Making the catch on the run is Cuddy. Not an easy play whatsoever, but a great job there for the Mammoths to get the first batter out in Joey Luciano.
Well, we can make that 9 2/3 innings now. He has allowed 4 hits, 8 walks, 13 strikeouts, and an ERA under 3, and a whip just around 1. So Mike McGee, good numbers in the early part of his USPBL campaign.
Yeah, McGee is a surefire left-hander out of this bullpen. Has a fastball that is right around the mid-90s. That one at 93 to Conley, but a guy who has been stellar all season long. Conley on the day, he's 0 for 0. He's reached base safely twice on walks and then had the sacrifice fly out that drove in a run in that 3-run 6th for the Corns. And matter of fact, it wasn't what would be game-winning run that he drove in, but the 6th run of the game for these Unicorns. He looks at called strike one. Back out to work is McGee. That fastball at 89 misses inside. Took a little bit off of that one. And normally when you take a little off the pitch, you get better control, but not the case there for the left-hander. The leg kick, the push. There's that pitch outside frame. Paints that outer third of the plate, and Conley can't do anything with it. This count even here at 2-2.
I've noticed the last couple of pitches, Conley has stepped out of the box and taken a practice cut. You got to think of it like this, too. You have a 2-run lead, trying to win a game. Yeah, take as much time as you want. You're trying to win here.
This one down the left field line, trying to take it the other way with 2 strikes is Conley, and you love the approach. Not only can he get on base and see the ball well, but when he does go after pitches, he lets the ball travel, makes sure that it's a strike, and he did that. Stays alive with the 2 strikes, fouls it off, and it was only a few inches off of that left field line.
That's a great 2-strike approach. Yeah, and you said it. That was inches away from being a double. And Conley doesn't have a hit, but he's impressed me at the box tonight. As you see him taking his time once again. Why rush, right?
Better believe it. Conley ready for the 2-2, and look at that. Again the other way, this time in between the lines, past the ranging shortstop, Jordan Thomas, and there's not enough that you can say about this young man coming to us from Canisius College, the 2017 Perfect Game Player of the Year, and for good reason.
And that was a great piece of hitting. And a couple innings back, Dan Ward hit a rocket off of the wall, and I said that's how I got a lot of my hits. Actually, what Chris Conley just did, those are the hits I got. I was a lefty, got a lot of hits between the third baseman and shortstop, and as a lefty, you can live off of that.
So the righty standing in, Adrian Guzman, not taking any time to slow down, as this one will be his first base knock of the evening. Getting in safely to second is Conley, and Guzman with the back-to-back singles between Conley and himself with 1 out, brings runners to first and second. The Unicorns trying to add an insurance run on here in this top of the 8th inning.
And you don't usually hear this term in baseball, but I think Dan Ward could hit the dagger here and end things with only about 20 minutes left. Yeah, just under 20 minutes left in this contest. So time proving to be valuable right now.
Ward looking at a first pitch breaking ball to start off this at-bat. McGee, out there. Looked like he might have gotten crossed up with Barbie, as you see Barbie go back out there to talk. And with the runner on second base, you want to make sure that the pitcher and catcher are on the same page. And even though Barbie picked up on that not fastball, Ward doesn't take advantage of it. This one missed the zone. Back to work is Mr. McGee. This one in the zone. Change up at 83 miles an hour. Ward out in front of it. And if you're a pitcher up against a guy like Ward, you got to make notice of what he just did in the previous pitch. You get the change up, get him out in front of it, try and bring that back, maybe get a ground ball that could lead to 2 outs.
Yeah, just be careful of throwing a fastball over the heart of the plate. Good pitch there. Did miss, but right idea.
Backdoor breaking ball from the left-hander. You tried to get Ward to swing after it, but Ward on the night, 2 for 2 with a home run, a single, reached on a fielder's choice and scored in the third, and was hit by a pitch in the first. He has not been able to get out in this game at all. This one popped up in foul territory. Tommy Fiesel, are you kidding me? Oh, he could have held on to it, as that one turns into a foul ball with the tumble there from Fiesel, but he almost turned a circus act into the second out, but staying alive is Ward.
That would have been the play of the year, and that's saying a lot. We saw Kitson rob extra bases, and that got on top 10, but that would have been better in my opinion. He laid out completely on a dead sprint and just could not hang on, but we saw the athleticism, the former Northwestern football standout. And that is an incredible display of athleticism.
McGee trying to retire Ward with what would be the first time all day. Instead, Barbie getting the worst of this one. Ward, one of the greatest hitters in this league, stays alive, fouls one off, but unfortunately for Barbie, goes right off of that right arm.
and he is clearly shaken up, and I can't imagine how that feels, getting hit from that close.
Yeah, catcher's a different breed out there, and some of the toughest individuals out there. Gary Wagenschutz, our home plate umpire, giving credit there to Barbie, taking his time to get back in this battle with Dan Ward. But 2 runners on, 1 out. Score is 6-4. Unicorns trying to pad onto this lead, but for the first time all night, Ward is retired. The backdoor breaking ball freezes him, and we are at 9:15 here on our marks. We will have to get to the 9:30 time slot through 8 innings if we want to get to this 9th. And if you're the Mammoths, you know, you got to get out of this top of the 8th. You want to do your best in the home half of the 8th inning, but you either got to put it all together in the home half of the 8th or get out quickly to be able to go again in the 9th. And that's exactly what we're trying to figure out here with this time crunch, something that baseball players are not used to.
Yeah, we're starting to learn ourselves here. It's kind of just a learning curve for all of us, and it's kind of interesting to see how this is going to play out, because there's a lot of scenarios that we could see, but there's really no way of telling what we're actually going to see.
The count, 1-0 to Latona. That pitch in there at 90 miles an hour from McGee. Fouling it off is Latona. Latona on the day, 0 for 3, a line out, a pop out, and a ground out, but was hit by a pitch in the 3rd inning. Good enough for the 9th hit by pitch for Latona, which leads this USPBL. Another breaking ball, this one down Broadway, and like it worked against Ward with the strikeout, Latona can't pull the string on the 1-1 offer. And the count now 1-2.
It's a very good breaking ball. It's not like Cody Brown's where it has that very quick bite, but it's a good looping breaking ball, and it's fooling these hitters.
The 1-2 pitch swung on and missed from Latona after allowing 2 one-out singles from Conley and Guzman. Back-to-back strikeouts to Ward and Latona. Not an easy feat. Nice job there from McGee to get the job done, but we will keep tabs on this clock here at the ballpark. We head to the home half of the 8th as it's 9:16. You're watching the USPBL YouTube channel. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Rich Borland and Drew Kell with you. The night is done for Gio Abreu. He goes an inning, doesn't allow any runs, allows 1 hit, no walks, 1 strikeout, or very good. And coming into pitch now in this 8th inning, something we're not used to, the closer for the Utica Unicorns, Chris Dula, in an unfamiliar situation, but aren't we all, here with the 2.5-hour time limit at the USPBL. We will not be able to start another inning after the 9:30 mark, and with it being the home half of the 8th inning, you got Pagano, Cuddy, and Dundon due up. We're not sure if we'll be able to get to the 9th inning. So with the Unicorns going to their closer here, they're expecting this to be the final frame as Pagano fouls off the second pitch of the at-bat. Dula, the hardest throwing pitcher that we have ever seen in this league. He's hit 100 multiple times. But a little side note here on that giant home run from Dan Ward back in that, count it, 5th inning.
Yeah, 427 feet off, way out in left field, and it came off the bat at 108 miles per hour off a pitch that was 87. So that just shows you the brute strength that Dan Ward has, able to carry it over 427 feet to dead left field. When most guys hit it that far, it's to dead center field. To be able to pull that, a baseball that far is, I can't even imagine that.
He did have a very long home run in the home run derby that went 449 feet, but of course with it coming in at a lot less of a speed.
Speaking
at
of
the
speed,
home run derby, no doubt, Drew, that one 99 miles an hour right to the backside of Pagano. And so here's where it turns from baseball into chess, right? It becomes a chess match late in this game now. Each decision crucial. And with Pagano getting hit by that pitch from Chris Dula, you got Cuddy up now, Dundon on deck, Jordan Thomas, Alec Allred, Tommy Fiesel rounding out this Westside lineup. You're down 2. You need to get 2 runs in this game. You either need to be out of this 8th inning before it hits 9:30, or this is it. This is your inning to get the 2 runs and try and keep this game going with international tiebreaker rules, which is a whole nother conversation that we could have.
And that makes the game very fun and entertaining. It is 9:21 right now. So I'll update you, Rich will update you, but it's coming down to the wire.
Dula starts Cuddy off with a strike, and just like the first, second pitch, fastball, swung on and missed. That one taken a little bit off of it at 97 miles an hour.
That's a funny sentence, Rich.
I was thinking the same thing. So the clock continuing to tick here at the ballpark. Dula not messing around. That one at 98, swung on and missed by Cuddy. And he starts out the day with a home run. Had a single back in the 6th, but second strikeout of the evening for Cuddy. He is retired. Still over there at first base is Pagano, but it's just it's lingering, Drew. It's in the back of your mind. It's in the back of these players' minds. It's of course in the minds of Jim Essien and Willie Martin, the coaches of this team, bringing their closer out here in the 8th inning, thinking that this will be writing here tonight.
So right now, this is kind of a weird thought, and you may agree or disagree, but if Dundon were to hit and do a double play right now, the 9th inning would be played. And Dula's on the mound right now, a guy who usually goes 1 inning. I know he hasn't had that many pitches.
And look at this. You might get your double play, Drew. The 6, the 4, and the 3. Dula gets his double play. Drew sets it up on a tee. We'll see if Dula comes back out in the 9th, but we are through 8, and we will play a complete game here at the ballpark this evening. To the 9th we go. Unicorns out in front by 2. You're watching the USPBL YouTube channel. So to the ninth we go, ladies and gentlemen. Back out there to pitch for the Westside Woolly Mammoths is Mike McGee, the left-hander. But the Unicorns out in front 6-4. It will be the 3-4-5 hitters, Grote, Williams, and Ledoux coming up to the plate. McGee trying to not allow the Unicorns to add anything on. The Mammoths will have the 7, 8, 9 hitters due up in the home half of the frame. I'd be shocked if we didn't see a pinch hit opportunity from Drew Kitson later on in the home half of this inning, but got to get through the top half first. Grote, second pitch swinging, hits a big fly ball out to center field. Whisker can't find it, and it gets past him. Grote thinking about 3 out of the box. He's rounded second and not slowing down. Over to third base he goes, and he will slide in safely head first. A lead-off triple for Carter Grote. This one looks like the Unicorns are taking charge here late.
Yeah, I was just going to say before that triple, if the Mammoths can get out of this inning with no damage done, then that double play is almost a blessing in disguise. But now it makes things a little bit tricky. You got to bring the infield in, as you see the Mammoths doing now, everyone in. And it just, yeah, it gets interesting here because if Dan Williams can drive this run in, then the game feels like it's a little more out of reach. So we'll see what happens. I guess this whole night is kind of just a learning curve. So at this time, it's mainly just baseball at this point. There's a few things we need to work out, such as Dula, whether he's going to come back in the game. But
my goodness. Meanwhile, Dan Williams in for his fifth at bat of the night. He's 0 for 4 with a couple of ground outs and a line out. That pitch way inside out of the strike zone, but he goes after it. This one in the zone, and he can't go after it this time. So the count 1-2 on the batter with the infield in.
A strikeout here would be monumental. It would just open things up as we see it here.
And out is Williams. He goes after it. Thought that the ball got away from Barbie, but he does, in fact, squeeze onto it. And retiring the batter is McGee. So Williams is out via the strikeout for out number 1. Staying over there at third is Grote. And now standing in, Mr. Austin Ledoux.
My pick the stick.
Your Grand Valley Laker.
2 things that are equaling me to cheer for Austin.
First pitch, 91 miles an hour from McGee, missing high and away. You saw the arm angle sort of dropped a little bit. Sort of went from that 3/4 angle and misses high and away. Ledoux on the night, 1 for 4 with that leadoff double in the 6th. Outside of that, a pop out, a fly out, and a ground out. But a big opportunity in this situation. Runner on third, a little bit of insurance that you could drive in, keep the stats going up in the right direction. A big cut there from Ledoux. He was thinking about tying Dan Ward's distance on that one, but it'll only find the mitt of Barbie.
Yeah, and it was previously just a 2-0 count, and I was going to say a walk here wouldn't be the worst thing in the world. As well as I said earlier, the double play wouldn't be the worst thing in the world. It's kind of weird to think, but Ledoux at the plate already has a double. You want that double play to be in order. So, and it allows your middle infielders to back up. So, obviously a strikeout would be ideal, but it's not the end of the world if you lose Ledoux here and walk him.
Ground ball over to third, thinking about Grote. Will he get the play? No, he won't. Grote slides in safely past the diving tag of Andrew Dundon and right out to have a conversation with Mr. Sal Giacomontonio as the manager, Mr. Shane McCaddy, and he can't believe it.
And I can't believe it either. If I were McCaddy, I'd be doing the same thing. It looked like in that pile of dust, it was a clear out. Obviously, we don't have the best view as Let It Go starts playing as Shane McCaddy does not listen.
There is a substitution all while this is going down. Getting taken out of this game is Ledoux as he reaches on the fielder's choice, trying to get a number, we will, on this pinch runner. But what a wild scenario here. Coming into pinch run for Ledoux is number 40, Griffin Newer, a newcomer for these Utica Unicorns out of Nicholasville, Kentucky, and Bellarmine University. A pinch runner coming in. Runners on the corners with the one out on the board, but what a wild situation right there. And McCaddy with a valid point there, coming out to argue against Giacomo Antonio, but instead Grote stays safe at third base, almost having that base running blunder.
Yeah, you got to be feeling like a lucky man if you're Carter Grote. Nearly made this inning feel a whole lot different, but now the Mammoths still in trouble.
Bryn Martinez, the batter, looked at ball one to start the AB and then fouls off the next. Gets out of play. Fans awaiting the conclusion of this one, and then they will be ready for fireworks when this one is all said and done.
Can you imagine if the time limit is implemented and fireworks still interrupt the game?
That would be something. Meanwhile, Martinez can't pull the trigger on the 1-1 offer. This one, a fastball painting the inner third. And Martinez down in the count 1-2, but a nice day at the plate. A walk, a triple, a single, an RBI, and 2 runs scored for the shortstop. The best game of his USPBL season thus far. But instead, to end it, it won't be pretty. He looks at called strike 3 for out number 2, and Joey Luciana coming up to the plate here with 2 outs and 2 runners on.
It is officially 9:30, Rich. I just thought I'd let you know that. Not that it really matters at this point, but for the fans to get a feel of what this night is like, I think this is really the first taste of some of the possibilities we can see and how it changes up the game, but big strikeout there.
So now batting, Mr. Joey Luciana.
Luciana with that first career hit in the league as a triple. That's something he can tell his grandkids one day.
Not only that, but he can say that he drove in a run in a sacrifice fly right before it, too. Count 2-0.
He'll remember the sac fly, too.
Oh, yeah. McGee trying to not allow the Unicorns to drive in their 7th run of the game. Grote sliding back safely on that hard-hit ball from Austin Ledoux. This one, the 2-0 offer. Fouling it off is Luciana.
And if the Unicorns can't come across with a run after that leadoff triple, the momentum shifts big time towards the Mammoths, who had that double play that really could help them in the end. We'll see how that plays out, but that's something to watch out for.
Yeah, you wonder if Dula will come back in to pitch the 9th or if they'll give it to Shamanico, the lefty who has been warming up.
And all of a sudden, 1 strike away from getting out of this pretty significant jam.
The count 2-2 on the batter. Luciana 1 for 3 on the day with that sac fly and triple. McGee trying to get out of this inning unscathed. The 2-2 pitch swung on and missed. Dropping it is Barbie, but he makes the tag on the runner, and we are through 8.5 frames. The Unicorns will try and hold on to the 2-run lead. We head to the home half. You're watching the USPBL YouTube channel. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Rich Borland and Drew Kell with you. We're past the time limit, but like we mentioned in the previous innings of the broadcast, we did not start an inning after the 2-hour and 25-minute mark. We're at the 9:35 hour here at Jimmy John's Field. The day is done for Chris Dula, who in his setup role goes the inning.
Which was intended to be a closing role.
Right, because of the time limit, but he gets the one strikeout, no hits, no walks, no runs in the inning. And he now gives way to the left-hander, the only left-hander on this entire Unicorn staff, the big fella, Mr. Michael Shamanico.
Yeah, Shamanico has appeared in 14 games this season, 18 innings pitched, 0-1 on the year. Does have 3 saves to his credit, so that could come in handy here. ERA at 3 and a whip, just over 1. So let's see if he can close the door on the Mammoths in a big spot.
Not only that, Drew, but he has double the amount of strikeouts that he does walks.
That's
eye-opening for sure. Even more than double. 38 strikeouts for Shamanico to just 17 walks on the season. It'll be Jordan Thomas, Alec Allred, and Tommy Feasel. 3 right-handers coming up to the plate. Would have been a good matchup for Dula, but you bring in the lefty to face off against the bottom part of this order. Count 1-1 on Thomas, who on the day 1 for 3 with a double, a strikeout, and a groundout. Shamanico doesn't throw as hard as Dula, but it's definitely up there. And from the left side, making it a world of trouble. That fastball missing high at 94 miles an hour. Shamanico coming to us from Dumont, New Jersey. Infield, outfield, for the most part at normal depth. The center fielder, Joey Luciana, playing a little bit shaded towards left center. Behind that one was Thomas, the 92-mile-an-hour two-seam, getting past the swinging bat of Thomas.
Yeah, definitely a firm fastball from Shamanico, 94-95, but feels a lot faster than that, especially from the lefty.
The 2-2 pitch from Shamanico gets called strike 3. The fastball might have been a little bit low for Thomas's liking, but he gets rung up for the second consecutive time on strikeouts. And Shamanico doing his best to try and end this one in a non-dramatic fashion like we saw last night with Keaton Aldridge beating the Unicorns. The Unicorns in a redemption battle here this evening. Mentioned tonight, Firework Friday at the ballpark. We will be having our WCSX Classic Rock Saturday, as we will have the 70s night dance party with Boogie Dynamite.
It's going to be a tough play.
And almost making an incredible catch is the shortstop, is Bryn Martinez, but this one, the throw back to first base, ends up getting past the first baseman.
And that's going to be crucial because now that takes a double play out of order, and that just really heightens this whole situation for Shamanico. Drew Kitson will now pinch hit, so just stuff coming at us left and right, and this is a fun ball game to watch and be a part of.
So Allred gets the single.
Bloop single that was. Barely got over the shortstop.
It falls in that sort of Bermuda Triangle area where nobody could reach. And, you know, it's the little things. It might not look pretty, but you get your base runner on, and look at that. Look at that right there, Drew Kell, coming to fruition. Another thought of mine. And it's part of the strategy. I talked about how this becomes a chess match.
You talked about bringing Kitson pregame.
Kitson, not in the starting lineup, has the most walks in the league, but standing in here now, I talked about, I didn't see him in the starting lineup, and it was for this reason exactly right here. Tommy Feasel, the batter, getting pinch hit for by Kitson, and if he can take this one for a ride, make it a tie ball game.
Yeah, can you imagine?
Unreal. So Kitson fouls off the first pitch he sees, as the runner on second is Allred. Kitson on the season batting below 200, but has made it onto SportsCenter's top 10 plays with an incredible catch. He does have 2 home runs on the year, so you know he can take it for a ride. The count 0-1 on the batter. Shamanico trying to limit the damage, but struggling after that bloop single from Allred and a miscue, in my opinion, from Martinez to try and get him as he was rounding first base coming back to the bag.
It very easily could have made the simple play instead. Try to make the heroic play, and a lot of times that comes back to bite you, as it did in that situation for Martinez.
So we mentioned how the late inning drama for Keaton Aldridge and the Hoppers almost allowed the Unicorns back in the game. It was a 3-0 game last night after 5.5 innings. The Unicorns got a run in the home half of the 6th, got one more in the home half of the 9th on a wild pitch. But Keaton Aldridge striking out 3 batters in the 9th inning to end the threat. It was a very exciting show last night, and it looks like we're ready for more action here in this home half of the 9th inning. Kitson down in the count 1-2, trying to avoid a strikeout. Shamanico trying to deliver it to him. Allred at second, not going anywhere. The breaking ball missing high at 83 miles an hour.
He must have floated just high, right? Just high, but it was a good pitch and the right idea.
The count 2-2 on Kitson. Infield, outfield at normal depth. The wind has died down, so if Kitson can put it out, it will be all manpower. Tries to get him with the backdoor breaking ball, but this one misses the zone away. Latona has to jump out of his seat to keep that one in front of him. Allred remaining at second base. Kitson trying to keep this one going. Just one out on the board, due up on deck, the top of the order. So you got Kitson, Lawson, Whisker, Barbie, Pagano, Cuddy. Not an easy lineup, but Shamanico will have to get Kitson here. Try and get that second out. He won't get it. Fastball at 94 miles an hour, misses low. Kitson gets his count at league leading. Let me pull this up. This is Kitson's 22nd walk of the year. Good enough for first place. And look at this segue. In second place with walks with 19 coming up to the plate, Jalen Lawson.
And the winning run, Jalen Lawson. This has been a wacky game, and Jalen Lawson is 1 for 3. He's been swinging a hot bat lately. Definitely has big power, 4 bombs. This is shaping up to be an incredible finish.
We are setting up for quite an ending to this one. You know, Lawson likes to take the big cut in the big moment, and what an ending to this one we could see. Just the one out on the board. There is a force out, so if Lawson hits a ground ball, we could very well see the end of this game in favor of the Unicorns.
If you get the fastball, he's got to turn on it.
He turned on that one, and it was, in fact, the fastball. But contrary to most of these hitters against some of these Unicorn bullpen arms, he looked to be actually a little out in front of that 92-mile-an-hour fastball.
He was waiting badly for that pitch. But I will say, if he gets another one, anywhere from 92 to 95, I don't think Jalen's going to miss it.
The lefty taking a look at Allred at second, missing the zone with the 93-mile-an-hour heater, and the moment starting to get to Shamanico.
Clearly flustered on the mound, and Lawson now in control in the count. He's ahead 2-1, and this is a pretty good fastball count, and he could get it, and I don't think he's going to miss it. I said it earlier.
The 2-1 pitch, fastball again, and he does miss it. That one a little bit higher in the zone, and of course with that elevated pitch, not as easy to catch up, and Lawson just a little bit behind that one. The count 2-2 on the leadoff hitter. He singled in the first, but since then 0 for 3 with a line out, a strikeout, and a ground out. The 2-2 pitch from Shamanico, the leg kick, the push, the fastball at 92, swung on and missed again. So Shamanico wins the battle with Lawson, but it did not come easy. A lot of strong swings there from the second baseman. He just couldn't connect.
And right now, this is the guy you want at the plate, Ethan Whisker. Jalen Lawson definitely swinging a hot bat, but this guy, Ethan Whisker, has been consistent all season long, has power, can hit for average, and can very well hit one in the gap here and potentially tie this game up, but it's going to be tough down to their final out after all this.
Whisker coming into play today, third in the league with 28 hits, first in the league with a .329 batting average. If you're the Mammoths, you do not want anyone else up at the plate in a situation like this. The runner-up in the home run derby, Whisker, not with 47 home runs like Dan Ward, but he was up there through the 3 rounds, and even though he only has 2 home runs on the year, would be a big spot for his third one. Shimonico, the 0-1. Whisker making contact on that 93-mile-an-hour fastball, but in on the hands. A good job placement-wise for Shimonico. If that one was over the heart of the plate, Whisker would have made better contact, but with where it was placed, Whisker couldn't do anything with it as he was jammed in on the hands. And now the Mammoths down to their final strike, the count 0-2.
You have to protect if you're Ethan Whisker.
Don't want to give him anything too far in the zone if you're Shimonico. Let's see if he brings him a fastball high or maybe a breaking ball in the dirt. And stepping off of the rubber there, you can tell he's thinking about what he wants to bring. He just gave a little lick to that finger, and maybe he's going to be bringing that breaking ball to get a little bit better grip on the pitch. Shimonico, the lefty, set, ready to battle against Whisker on the 0-2. Gives a look to Allred. The kick, the push. Fastball high, so he went with the fastball up to try and get Whisker to chase, but that one missing a little bit too high. You want to get it somewhere perfectly above the letters out of the zone, and that one just missing enough where Whisker didn't have to even think about going after it.
And he just overthrew that a little too much, and you could see it on the back end of that delivery.
Shimonico ready to rear back and try and end this ball game. The 1-2. Fastball swung on and missed. Whisker chases after this one, and the Unicorns end the threat in the home half of the 9th. The one-out single from Allred, the walk to Kitson, and then back-to-back strikeouts against Lawson and Whisker end this ball game. We were cutting it close with the time limit as Dula came out for the 8th, which we thought might have been the end of this game, but the double play gets us to the 9th, and then the Unicorns in the top half of the inning get a leadoff triple from Carter Grote, but then a strikeout to Williams and Martinez and the threat, and then the Mammoths trying to put something together in the home half, but they cannot get any runs across the board. We saw a little bit of everything here tonight, but in the end, the Unicorns moving to an even 13-13 record. The Mammoths dropping to 13-11. Drew, your final thoughts?
Thought it was a great baseball game. I thought the time definitely made for a more entertaining game. Maybe not a traditional game, but definitely a lot of fun. We saw that final inning, Shimonico had to go through the teeth of the order. And man, oh man, that was a good baseball game. But in the end, the Unicorns come out on top, and it's going to be a good weekend of baseball.
Mention fireworks coming up in just a few minutes. Tomorrow, it will be the, count it, Westside Woolly Mammoths and Birmingham Bloomfield Beavers. It will be first pitch, 7:05. WCSX Classic Rock Saturday. We will have the Tom Petty Tribute Band, and it's also our family camp out at the ballpark. And then our Sunday matinee contest, Beavers and Hoppers. The Sunday Fun Day with Snow Queen, Princess Anne, and Ollie the Snowman will be in attendance. But for my broadcasting partner for the night, Drew Kell, my name is Rich Borland. Unicorns win this one by a final of 6-4. You stay classy.